All right, good day, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Live the Fuel show. So, as a reminder for our newer listeners, this show's been out there since 2016, and I'm constantly getting new listeners because we care about balancing your health, business, and lifestyle. As a reminder, the founder of the name Live the Fuel actually stands for Live the Fired Up Epic Life. So, today, my new guest co host, she might get you a little fired up. We might talk a little about health. We might talk a lot about lifestyle balance and its impacts on health. But a more polarized subject is this whole thing about medical marijuana, CBD, what's legal, what's not. But more importantly, as I dug into her background, what is legitimately healthy, what is legitimately impacting people, changing lives, and more. So there's a lot more to discuss today. So I really want you to tune in. But I'll take a quote off of her own website. Stop taking dead CBD. I didn't even know what that was until I looked into her background. Meet the first, like literally the world's first living full spectrum. Again, I know this is a thing. CBDA. There's CBD. There's CBDA. Guys, there's a lot to discuss and unpack today. We have to do this all in less than an hour. And if you've never even considered CBD or Mary Jane, as some people like to throw around the slang, we're going to clarify some differences. We're going to help you understand what's actually real time today impacting people from a supplemental standpoint, what is realistically impacting people personally, but also our guest co-host today, her own mother, people close to her, children, patients. Guys, there's a lot to unpack here. So the founder of NisaHemp.com is our guest co-host today. Her name is Inesa Ponomariov. I don't think, again, she can correct me when I'm done because we were making fun of this before we hit record. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
Did I roll that out too fast? I got to work on the whole,
No, you did good because I like fast. So it's great.
Okay. All right. But so you got a lot going on. And yeah, people send me the whole bio off of the website. And then I couldn't help I had to go off the cuff and have fun with it because you've taken me down some different paths. And I so much love, I'm approaching 500 shows online. So if you average an hour across every show, that's 5,000 hours. That doesn't include me going on other people's shows, putting my own YouTube content out there. So I might have a little bit of experience, but I don't always get like overly excited. And I try to explain to my wife what we were going to talk about last week, but we rescheduled for this week. And she's like, okay, well, let me know what you learn. I was like, oh, we're going to learn. So thank you for, let's catch the listeners up. Let's just pause. Last week we were supposed to record and you looked a little fatigued, and I caught that from the get-go. And I know you were more concerned about your physical appearance for video, but I want to bring this up because I'm a true believer in truth and transparency. You had a rough day, right? Is there a better way to sum that up?
Kind of a rough day. Every day is a rough day, but 7 days a week is a rough day. But like some days are like extra rough. And
So that was definitely an extra rough, right? We're definitely
yeah.
good on that. That was an extra rough day, I feel.
Yeah, I had a lot going on that week. Like almost every day was extra rough day. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a rough week, extra rough week, ladies and gentlemen. So let's pause on that. Okay. I'm all about trying to bring on guest co-hosts to help our listeners understand that they may not be alone. There's lots of people trying to just be healthier. Hopefully they're trying to be healthier, but also find that lifestyle balance. And business is a part of life. Even if you're a W-2 employee working in a corporate cubicle like my life was a long time ago, or you become an entrepreneur and you work for yourself and you take that extra risk of the hustle, which is kind of your background. Like you didn't originally plan on being, NisaHemp.com, right? That wasn't in your original backstory, but guess what? You're going to open that door and you're going to grab the bull by the horns, so to speak, and you're going to take it on. And unfortunately, it becomes as you just said, a 7-day-a-week thing. I love how people think that, oh, once you start your own business, especially if it's an online and you got a .com, you create this whole thing called passive income. And then so you just set it and you forget it. And then I look at a brand like yours and I just laugh because I'm like, there is no set it and forget it. And then last week, and you told me about your day with one of your patients you're trying to work with. And I'm like, there is nothing at all that is set it and forget it about what she just showed me. And which is why I was like, please, let's reschedule. Let's let you come back fresh and energized because you had a rough day, or as you just confirmed, a rough week. So are you willing to share any of that? Is that something that helped? I really think this is important because I think it'll help set the stage for everybody else and what happens with your brand and what you do, because that impressed me last week. That I could see the energy that it had taken from you because you cared that much. And people don't understand what it takes to care and help other people.
No, I appreciate it. And I really was actually asked multiple times to someone to come in and record my life from the day or from the second I wake up and open my eyes, or my first eye before I open my
Oof.
second eye. And then they said, I want to just record everything about your life and just follow you and to understand exactly what it takes to be Inesa. But that week, actually, I had really a lot going on. I do help children, and that's passion of mine because I truly believe in helping others. So I had going on with my worldwide organization, or not even organization, because I try not to save money on taxes or anything. Again, I'm not doing for like fame purpose or anything like that. I just want to see the difference. That's all what I care. So I had a lot going on with my kids in different countries. And I also have a kid that is growing 2 centimeters in his brain each week, 9 year, 10-year-old. So
And this is a tumor, right?
tumor, stage 4, I mean, at this point, stage 5 cancer, stage 5 cancer. So, then also his gene therapy got missing, the one that helps us to, to stop the cancer growth really quickly and things like that, which is every minute of his life is essence. And I was able to get the gene therapy in the United States from Japan with no problems,
Hmm.
which is like overnighting, arranging the planes, arranging the cargo, arranging everything. And then at the same time, it comes to Chicago, and I need to ship it to Texas. And then, and the Texas problem is, I mean, the UPS decided not to ship, which is like everything is in coolers and freezers.
I
So
was gonna say this is a temperature sensitive,
very temperature
yeah.
sensitive, and it's a $70,000 package for only a couple of weeks. So long
Oof.
story short is like UPS doesn't answer, corporate doesn't care. So I deal with the guy. We shut the store in the middle of the day. Like it's just so much happening, and it's almost like every day is like this, very extra intense.
Mhm.
Yeah, when you're missing a gene therapy and they don't even know where the gene therapy is, when you never miss a package from that UPS store, and that day, that moment you miss a gene and where the kid is just out of control, while my other 80 100 kids and change are in the world asking for whatever. So it's just a lot of every minute matter, kind of every second matter kind of type of situations. And it does happen quite often in my life. Like I would say 1 week a month it goes like this, and then regular weeks are just quite a little bit busy.
Well, so the interesting thing enough is that again, your core brand, obviously is hemp CBDA, but you're talking about gene therapy and other things. So it's amazing how that's not your product, right? That's something else that you're just helping facilitate and logistically solve to help somebody. Is that a good way to sum that up?
Kind of, yeah. I actually, when I was working on my mother's treatment to find a
Mhm.
cure for my mom's cancer, that was years ago. I actually, when I got so excited, when I was able to help my mom and she's living happy, healthy life up to today. So I was so excited because I started helping all these other people across the world to share my knowledge, and these people are got better. So since they got better, there is no such thing as you're gonna take one magical pill, even in
Mm.
chemo world, even in, I don't care what world you belong to, because your body is such a complex mechanism. There's minerals, there's microbiomes, there's multiple systems going on, and all of
Mhm.
them are activating each other every second of parts of your day. So at this point, like if I'll tell you that one thing is gonna cure you, first of all, we don't cure or treat any disease. I just share my knowledge and all these people walking alive as of today. But other than that, it's impossible. So I got blessed because I went very deep on the global research on cancer, and I got blessed to work with top brains on the planet, and I'm in very strong relationship with them. So I was able to create my network. So instead the person drives in, flies in Japan, they actually come to me, and when they come to me, they have the whole global network. So
Mhm.
they have to go through procedures, waiting lines, wishing lists, all that stuff. I just organize everything overnight, and they have the whole life rocking and rolling within 24/7.
Well,
20
that's impressive. Let's just pause on that because it's like you're kind of like this logistics guru, basically, or you've become that because obviously we're dealing with a temperature sensitive product. You're dealing with a not just an interstate. Here in the United States, we have a large country. So a lot of our shipping lanes are just to clean up the whole interstate process, but we're talking about an intercountry, intercontinental, shipping process. And then something as simple as, because I've been a longtime customer of my local UPS store. I did change once when I bought a different house and my wife and I moved, but yeah, the whole local footprint concept of a UPS store that you were talking about earlier, it's a privately owned business, but they're a part of UPS. And yeah, if push comes to shove and they need to close, they can because it's their own business. But then there's also impacts of the whole Amazon world because every time I walked into that UPS store, there's just this wall of packages like everywhere because they support Amazon returns, which this has nothing to do with today's show, but I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what you want, do not order it. Oh my God, just my local store is inundated with hundreds of packages, people returning things because they changed their mind or they didn't like it. And they just don't care about the amount of time and the waste and logistical impacts. And then you could be that innocent client who's depending on that store to get a very important medically impacting package through, but they've got 200 Amazon returns and a line out the door or they decide to close. Not to saying that's your situation, but I can relate because I've never seen that store more inundated until the past 2 years. They're just overwhelmed. They need like twice the personnel just to process all the things coming and going. And that has nothing to do with what you do, but it's impacting what you do. I guarantee it. It just blows my mind. I mean, the logistics alone, let alone you trying to work with FDA registered laboratories and all these great brains around the world. And you're being brought to your knees because of a package disappearing out of a UPS store that has claims they never had that problem before because that's why they have tracking numbers.
And then
how,
tracking numbers missing in the system too, that becomes even better.
how do you hold on? Come on. All right. There's an electronic
That's
signature here. Come on. That's a little weak. Come on.
It's yeah, I know, but it's not. I was ready to release the press release, but actually corporate off. The UPS did not allow to say anything negative about UPS except all positive. So even if you want to share, because the main management that's actually responsible for the second hub where they collect all the small packages,
Yeah.
they actually said that they call the main guy who's responsible, and he did not even give us an answer. He clearly even said, he said, "Hi, what do you want? How can I help? What? Call me later. Bye." Like he did not even bother to even listen what the problem is. And when I start dealing with everything, I learned the person couldn't get actually the green card because it was also overnight package. So other person couldn't pass the exam because the mother was shipping the laptop and she couldn't actually go. It was just my package probably was the most important because it's someone's life and it's a lot of money, but also just those are also big events, like you can't pass exam because of UPS, or you can't it's just get your visa or green card because of UPS. It's kind
Wow.
of messing up a lot of lives, by someone just being not responsible. So I don't like these things, and I like to bring justice. Every
Yeah.
time we talked about Lithuanians, and you said there's a friend that is really love Lithuania. I love Lithuania too, but I'm gonna tell you all the black, dark, and white, everything about Lithuania. I like everything what's right. I don't care you left, right,
Hmm.
wing, yellow, blue, Christian, Muslim. I like bad is bad, good is good, and I don't care where you belong.
Thank you. Oh my God. We can make a t-shirt right now. That's exactly my position on all the things in the world. I was like, listen, You have a choice to do good things, or you have a choice to do bad things. And I'm sick and tired of people using a religion or a church or because we don't talk about politics and church and religion on my show, because I just don't want to deal with all the polarized BS. Because I agree with you. Just choose a positive path. Don't hurt people. Don't hurt others. Don't try and bring people down. Like, I'm sorry, that's my goal in life, is to try and do positive things. I mean, fire people up. That's what got fire in my logos for everything I do. Like my marketing company, the podcast, and my charity. All three logos, all three brands have fire in it because I'm a former firefighter. I chose to take a sacrifice of time, go do something to benefit other people, and then it changed my life in such a positive way that I wanted to do nothing but good things the rest of my life. So that's not exactly easy, right? Because you're doing the same thing. It's like, okay, well, I got to fight all these fires. I got to find a way to put these fires out to be able to positively impact other people, and then deal with corporations who just don't care. But enough about UPS. So I don't want to skip too far past your mother, because I love that personal backstory. And that's why I really wanted you to be a guest co-host, because was that really the principal trigger point that just kind of set everything else in motion? Was that the big, like, whoa, I got to do something?
I feel like I can share like very uncoded, no sugar.
You do whatever you want, say whatever you want. I edit nothing.
Yeah, perfect. So the
All the
story,
profanity, all the things, I'm cool.
seriously, the story was probably the reaction that I got from my mother's diagnosis is probably more shocking to the rest of the world but then people understand why it happened. Before I got my phone call from Lithuania, I was really going through a lot of hard times in the United States. And I was going through hard times because I had to learn my way that I was raised on never lie, never steal, never cheat, and on very clear values. And when I came in United States, I was just exposed to this big world, and everybody who wasn't lazy took advantage of me, because when people say something, I assume they're telling me the truth. I judge them from my own perspective. So, and that was kind of, I can't say my mom's mistake. I don't like blame anybody. It was just part of my life's journey. But with that being said, I went through a lot. I was homeless to some point. I went through multiple order protections. I think 9 of them. I forgot a bunch. Long story short, I was targeted by human traffickers multiple times. The people who are supposed to help me are actually the ones in the same cycle, in the same circles, to trying to hurt me from the other end. And then the judge or attorney is supposed to help me from the other party supposed to help me. Then these people start taking advantage of me. So it was like a non-stop. You know how I learned in America to pick receipts to prove that I paid for something? When I actually paid my attorney all the money that I had, I remember I gave him $3,000 to get my status and work on my status in this country, so I can prove who I am, so I can have a car one day and rent and have a credit cards and things like that. So I paid him $3,000 in cash, hard working money. When I say hard, 7 days a week, 19, 20 hours a day, putting my face in the ice cube just to keep myself alive, because I wasn't drinking coffee. So I would just freeze my face to keep myself awake.
Oh, that's not just a saying. You're literally trying to freeze your face to wake
Yeah,
up.
I would literally drive in the car with a bunch of ice cubes.
I thought that was a saying.
No, it was a real thing. Now I know better hacks.
Here's the best part. That's now a biohacking thing, and people want to jump in tubs of ice. So you were already freezing your face in the car. Okay. That's hustle.
Yeah,
that's hustle.
That's how I try to keep myself awake so I don't cause the car accident, because I'm just starting the day and I barely slept 3 hours and I need to go another 20 hours. So of course you are exhausted. And that's how I did not know how to keep myself healthy. I was miserable with my health. I was a victim from pharmaceuticals. I was miserable from every angle, and I could choose to be a victim in my life. And I said, hell no, I'm not going to be a victim. I'm not going to be be someone like out there crying and whining. Yes, I was crying. Yes, I was asking God, why this is for me. Now I know why this is for me, because I was too naive, and he wanted me to understand better, but he did protect me in situations. He still showed me where to go and what to do. But long story short is, I went through some quite few hard times. And when I really got my life accomplished the way I wanted to, and I sit down, like, nice car, nice apartment, savings, building business on the side, working full time, like doing respected, loved, like everybody wants to spend time with Nasa. And I'm like, my health is better now because I was juicing, doing all kinds of things after such screw medical field. They just killing me about to completely
Oh,
finishing me
what's
up.
that? The pharmaceutical band-aids don't work? That's what I call them, by the way. They're pharmaceutical band-aids, because as easy as they go on, like a band-aid, they easily get ripped off, and they don't actually fix the problem. It's a temporary thing. So
Oh yeah.
you still gotta take accountability, as you're saying. I've been saying this for years in my show. Take accountability for your health. Start doing your own research. Don't just, unfortunately, I have friends that are doctors. Don't just blindly trust a quote unquote doctor. They, especially from a nutritional aspect, that's a whole other podcast. I mean, they have no clue. I have MDs that are friends of mine that have said, yeah, I did like an hour in school. Or someone's like, oh no, I had a special program. We went over it for a week. I'm like, you knew everything about nutrition in 1 week? No, not
Yeah,
possible.
it's pretty sad. You start with the one pill, and a year later you need two pills from that first pill. From those two pills, you need another four, and then from four you
And
need
God
eight.
forbid you introduce another pill from a different formulation, because there's another symptom that you
Yeah.
have. I have a sister. I love her. She's a hot mess. I mean, but she's had depression her whole life, dual personality. They're constantly changing her cocktail of blends of things. And I'm like, well, clearly it doesn't work, because you guys have been trying to do this for 20 years. So, yeah.
Just a common sense. I can understand how people can. And I was tortured by almost everyone who wasn't lazy. And I was able to figure out 2 + 2, like what I'm doing wrong, that I'm keep seeing these most professional licensed doctors, but I'm not getting better. In fact, I'm getting worse. So you step out and step back from your situation and take a look and what I'm really doing here, and put +2 + 2. It's very simple. When I work with my people as of today, everyone, I don't care how bad your condition is, you start seeing results in 2 weeks. I tell people all the time, if you don't see results in 2 weeks, no matter what you have, Alzheimer's,
Mm-hmm.
diabetes, dementia, it doesn't matter. If
Sure.
you don't see results in 2 weeks, I'm sorry, you are on the wrong path. Now we're talking about 20 years. That person is, the brain is dead, excuse me, but that's the situation. You can't even figure out, like, I've been in someone's health for 20 years and I can't,
Yeah.
can get better in 20 years.
You're you're in a very supportive environment, because I've done a lot of things in my life at only 46 years of age, as of a couple of weeks ago, as we're recording this. And I'm blessed that I have had the balls, or whatever they want to call it, to take these challenges on and try these different career changes. But throughout my life, I've always had health and fitness behind the scenes. Like, I've been a spinning instructor in my free time, teaching cycling classes indoors. I've been a CrossFit trainer and a CrossFit coach. Again, the firefighting life had a huge element of that built in. So I've always had this built into my life. And then realizing the importance of, it's not everything, but the importance of what you put in is what you get out from a nutritional aspect, all the variables. So I've done weight loss coaching and fitness management. I've done all the stuff, just, I called it for fun in my free time. But for me, it helped me balance my life. Even when I had a corporate life, I always did that stuff in my free time, because I cared. To this day, that's why I'm still podcasting about health and lifestyle. And so that's why I'm saying your welcome environment, because if I can't literally get somebody to lose weight or shift their energy cycles within 30 days, then don't call me or text me anymore. No, I don't do this professionally anymore. I did, but it was like, because I know, to your point, you're just saying in a couple of weeks, but you're right. If you start introducing positive things into the human body, it will respond mentally and physically. It's amazing. Like, if you've been depriving our being, our vessel, or whatever you want to call this body, you start introducing positive things in after you've been hammering it with negative things or pharmaceutical things from the supposed doctor trying to help you. Quote, are they really trying? It's amazing, because you should feel and see something right away. And then my always excuse, as you say to you, that you just kind of hit on, was then people are like, well, yeah, but this is my doctor. I'm like, okay, so they've been trying to help you for 10, 15 years, or you just said 20 years, and it's not really gone very well. So I'm not saying disown your doctor. Keep them there in case you break your arm, or, me, a couple years ago, I collapsed a lung. I had to have lung surgery because I'm a jackass. I mean, there's lots of things that I've done to myself. Clearly, I need an MD to put things back together. Have lung surgery, 8 days in the hospital, $150,000 medical bill, all that. Been there, done that. You need an MD for that. Nutritionally, no way in hell. There's no way in hell I would ever listen to an MD about anything that I put into my body, especially since half the MDs I visit, Inesa, don't look like this. I'm not trying to say I'm a Greek god, but I'm 46 years of age. I have perfect blood work. I'm 190 pounds at just under 6'4", and in my free time, I go build mountain biking trails in my woods. And I probably this weekend alone carried about 100 boulders up off the mountainside because I'm building a rock wall along my driveway. And I have friends asking, "What's wrong with me?" And I'm like, "What's wrong with me? I have a lot of energy and I need to use it." Oh, and then I'm podcasting with you in my free time, running a marketing company, and I launched my own charity and I published a book. Like, these are all the things that we could do when you take care of yourself, or you start actually addressing the root cause and not the symptoms. That's why I wanted to hit on that real quick, because I know you care a lot about that. It's not stop treating the symptoms with a pharmaceutical band-aid is how I sum it up.
Yeah, 100%. And if, for people to visualize better, I would like to say that your body is starving for help.
Oh, I
Starving.
love that. I love that. Yes.
It's like your body is dying, please. And he's like, he's being intelligent body, and he's like giving the little sign. You have a little pain here and here. You have a little bit cramps here and here. You have a little headache here and here. It's like, please feed me with nutrients. Please get rid of the toxins. Please put a healthy water in this temple. It's almost like your car with no engine, with no oil, and it's like a last drops are literally dripping, and there's nothing else, and the engine is gonna crash.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I'm sorry, Inesa, how it's come? I saw results so quickly. I feel so great in 2 weeks, better than my entire life. Oh, well, because you had an empty tank, and we just filled the tank, and now you're running as fast as you need to go. And by the way, if we fix a couple more mechanisms, you're gonna run even more faster than you can possibly imagine. And you're gonna change your tires. You're gonna now you're attached to the road better. So long story short is your body is starving, but most people are so used to be miserable, where they think it's part of, it's actually doctor's fault. You know why? Because I interview people, I think we have 10 to 20 sessions a week for the interviews. Okay. So when I interview people, I ask people all the time, what's wrong with you? Oh, I just have a diabetes and obesity.
I just have.
But I said, what you would like for us to help you to fix? And they would say, oh, just those 3 things. I said, okay, let me help you to recognize another things. I said, is it what's wrong with you? It's like, yes, ma'am. I said, okay, perfect. I said, do you have a sinus infections? Yes, I've been having for 30 years now. I said, why this is not on your list? Because you're so used to live with that. Oh, I said, do you have any allergy reaction to allergic to food or anything in seasonal allergies? Oh, yeah, but I've been having this for 45 years now. So my doctor told me that's totally fine. I said, oh, well, how about if I'm talking to the ladies? I said, do you have any menstrual cramping? Oh, yeah, I'm like 37 now, but I've been having this since I was 13, 14. I said, so that means it's okay? So people live with their issues are actually for 20, 30 years, and they've been brainwashing themselves and pharmaceuticals, which is the doctors. I mean, I call them actually drug dealers. I know it sounds super bad. There's few good ones.
No, I would support you on that.
It's still good ones. There's people who are truly trying to leave the medical field because they know they're torturing us. And I have those people, and I work with them, and I love them, and I praise them, and they're just an amazing MDs that I work with. But there's a lot of them, and I'm not going to spend my time to talk about these people because they're not worth my time. But what they really, really do, they come to you and they say, this is okay. You can live with this. There's like, it's no cure, it's no nothing.
And that's the problem right there, actually, what you just said. It's okay. You can live with it. But what is the quality of life? that we want for ourselves. And I think that's part of what you're hinting at right now. I had to pause you there because that's what you are just hitting everything, boom, 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 nailing it, because it's like the human body is an amazing machine. We are we're the top of the food chain for a reason. We have reached a point in evolutional growth that our bodies are pretty intelligent. They will respond exponentially if you give them what they want. If you don't give them what they want, they're going to struggle, but they're going to fight their way through. Our bodies are going to fight. Our brain's going to fight. It'll become I'm used to it. It's been 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean you're supposed to be dealing with that for 20 years. But that's the amazing part of our bodies is we will find a way to fight through it, adapt. The nervous system will just reprogram and say, okay, well, you've always had a limp, or you've always had a gastric issue, or GI distress, all these things. But then if you keep then compounding it by adding other negative impacts into your life, that thing that you dealt with for 20 years now gets way worse because you've just grown used to it. So you're like, oh, what's one more negative thing? Oh, okay. Well, the non-caring MDs, because our system is broken, especially in this country. I love my country. I love the United States of America, but with the pros, we have the cons. And there's a lot of money influencing that. And there's, like you said, there's a lot of amazing MDs that are trying, but they're handcuffed by the institution and they can only push so hard.
And this is the real situation. I literally went to the kidney specialist, meet her because I had a few UTIs and I was super panicked because I used to have last time UTIs when I was 12 years old. And I said, I need to check everything because I'm not going to wait. Every time, if I ever see any kind of type of symptom, I'm going to triple check, make sure nothing is happening in my body. So I went to her, she couldn't find anything. But then she said, I think you want to still take preventative, this drug, whatever. And I'm looking at her, and she's staying quiet as I'm looking at her. She doesn't say, she's like 40 years old, young, doctor, kidney specialist. And I said, did you just heard what you just told me? And she's like, yeah, I think that's what we give to patients when, God forbid, we need to prevent you should take these drugs. I said, can I repeat myself? I said, did you listening what you're saying? Or are you reading off the script, or what's going on? She's like, and she's lost. And I see the tears.
She doesn't know how to respond. Yeah.
Tears are popping up actually in her eyes. And I'm like, I said, are you about to cry? She's like, no. I said, you are here promoting these drugs without anything, even understanding what you're about to say. You never diagnosed me with anything. You never have found any, you give me already pre-solution that's going to have probably hundreds of side effects and all what I need to do to read the labels. And she's like sitting, and you're not going to believe this woman started really crying. I'm like, and I'm thinking she's crying because I'm too harsh on her, because I really don't have no tolerance for bullshit anymore in my life. I've seen it too much.
Good for you.
And I'm like, why she's crying if I'm too much? Because she seems to be a sweet, nice lady. And she's like, I know exactly what I'm doing here. I said, please save me. She said, please help me to leave this industry. I came to become a doctor. This is, I swear to God.
This is her saying this to you?
I swear my own life, anything.
Wow.
This is the word by word she said to me. She said, please, she said, I will surrender. Please tell me what I need to leave from here. I don't know how to save myself, but I'm going to be stuck. She says, I'm going to stuck with these bills. I'm going to be stuck with insurance. Pharmaceuticals going to threaten me. It's like, I'm stuck killing people here legally. She says,
it's a billion, if not $1 trillion industry. And it's a broken system that continues to self-feed itself. And she's the unfortunate side effect, is that there's so much money influencing between I tell people all the time, it's a full circle, right? Sugar industry, grain industry, pharmaceutical industry, medical industry, right? Keep feeding people the seed oils, the sugars. And again, I'm the tip of the iceberg, people. I'm just talking about 4 key things negatively impacting your life, right? Inflammatory seed oils, sugars, and excessive overly processed grains. Dump that into a human body that's already semi-unhealthy. You're going to screw it all up, but it's okay. Pharmaceutical is going to come in with its $1 billion science labs and give you a Band-Aid drug. But it's not fixing everything. So you're still sick. So then you're going to end up in the medical industry. And then the medical industry is going to follow whatever the pharmaceutical industries. Oh, and by the way, they know nothing about sugars, grains, and seed oils. So you're going to keep consuming those. And it's a never ending, infinity process, if you will, the infinity symbol. It's just going to keep going on forever and ever until you, me, regular everyday citizens take accountability for their personal health and their wellness and their well-being and say, wait a minute, this is not my finish line. How do I grow beyond it? I like the word grow. How do I grow beyond that, Inesa? Like, how do we guide people into this weird world of, oh, it's not medical, right? It's not pharmaceutical, but you might actually heal and not need any of it. Right? It's in 2023, you and I are talking about this, and it's like there is plenty of documented processes that we could be following, but there's no money in it, right?
Mhm.
So they're not going to promote it.
I'm sure the people listening right now, they somehow related into the sales process somewhere in their life. So I'm gonna ask you this: do you
I've
want
been
to
a
have
sales professional for 20 years, 30 years now. Actually,
yeah,
I have to recheck my math. So trust me, I
do you
know.
have a customer one time or a customer coming every
Mhm.
time, every month? You want to
Yeah.
have a forever customer, right?
Yeah.
And at this point, like we're talking about your health, we're talking about your something that's gonna tear you up in the part, but you are the customer for life. You are. That's it. You produce money. You are money machine. They
Mhm.
can't live without you. They're starving for you to be miserable because more miserable you are, more money. Like, look, they used to make money, so much money out of me by my age 26. Now I'm almost 36. 10 years later, they made zero. Nada. I'm
Yeah.
causing them bankruptcy. If I had all America making them zero right now, we would become bankrupt. We would become from strongest country in the world. We would become the weakest country in the world because it's half of the money it's actually we produce of our economy is from being sick people.
Yeah. Absolutely. I literally yesterday, no, actually this morning, I had to follow him again, but a very good friend of mine from my mountain biking world, I helped a buddy of his. Actually, they both used to work for the same company. They had a no-end career. I told both of them they're so talented. They're amazing wood craftsmen, cabinet makers, right? This used to be a respected profession. They can make your kitchen look like it's straight out of a, I don't know, model magazine for kitchens. So I told the one dude 2 years ago, I'm like, you need to start your own business, get the heck out of here. And I'm a sales and marketing professional. I'm like, yo, bro, I'll help you develop the brand, launch it all. I was like, but once we're done, we're done. And he goes, well, you don't need a retainer. And I'm like, you're not a retainer customer. I was like, I'm going to help you do your logo, do the branding. I was like, after that, it's on you. If you need further consultation, then let me know. But I'm not going to keep you on a hook. I'm going to move on to the next person who needs help. So I just did the same thing to his coworker over the past 2 months. He finally did the same thing. They both left that company 2 years apart, and I just rebranded his company. And he got one flat bill, and that was it. Discounted because he's a buddy of mine. But I was like, bro, and I already have a job lined up for him at my own house in November, and he's already done 2 other jobs for me. I was like, listen, that's the infinity process, right? I'm going to send you business. You're going to do business for me. That's how the money is supposed to flow. I don't want you on the hook.
Yeah.
If we could learn that in the health and wellness space, it'd be great. But once they know how to learn and make money, and if you can keep somebody on the hook, that's the never-ending sales cycle. So I tell people all the time, that's what the pharmaceutical industry is looking for. They want you sick. So here's sales and marketing 101, and we can move on to a different subject if you want, Inesa. But it's like, okay, I sell you once, that costs me a lot of money in marketing, advertising, ads, everything else. But I sell you that once, but then I find a way to keep you in the sales funnel. Well, now I only paid once upfront to acquire you. It is cheaper to maintain a customer relationship versus to keep acquiring new customer relationships. I teach this in the indoor air comfort, HVAC industry, right? You want hot air in the winter and cold air in the summers. I that's the biggest part of my background. Has nothing to do with CBD or anything else, but it's like, listen, people want warm air in the winter and they want cold air in the summer. It's not rocket science. So if you're a contractor providing those professional skills, I remind them, yes, you could do a whole new system install, which is very expensive. It could be $10,000, $15,000. But that system has to be serviced. So please make sure that that homeowner understands that you can come back every single year, clean the system, maintain the system, make sure their $10,000, $15,000 investment continues to do its job over the years to come. If you're not doing a service business, then you're missing out on all those small income streams for years to come. That's it, right? You sell them once up front, but then you keep them as a customer for the rest of your life. That is recommended in the HVAC industry. In the medical industry, it's not just recommended, it's preached. They need you on that hook. And if that drug's not working anymore, they're going to get you on another drug and another drug and another drug. And God forbid that drug creates a side effect of that drug, because now you got to go to the hospital because of the side effects. And then they're going to find you another drug to fight that side effect. And it's just a never ending conundrum of hell, is how I look at it. I don't know how you sum all that up in your world. How would you sum up all that craziness I just said?
To be honest, I used to fight like crazy and I used to waste my energy for the things did not matter, because people need to be ready for the heal. People need to be ready. Can I discover what else is about me? Can I discover what's my higher Q? Can I discover what's my highest potential of energy? Can I discover what it feels to be a real healthy human being?
Mm.
So because of my load of my work on my schedules, I don't even allow people to talk about things anymore. I say, this is very simple. They have very professional groups. Everything is done for you. And I tell them, I'm going to have you only one time in my life, never going to see you again. In fact, we're going to be loaded with so much information where you're going to become a coach for your family for the rest of your own life. So you're going to be impacted with the knowledge and experiences, and of course, the transformation itself. So when people want to do something and they asking me what they should do, I say, I'll show you how it needs to be done, but you're not gonna waste my time, and you're not gonna see. A lot of times, this is the funny part, actually. This is when you really know when somebody's ready or not. Say, okay, I'll help you to get what you're looking for, but you have to tell me if you're willing to do what it takes. And when
It's a fair question. Yeah.
person says to me like, oh, can you please tell me first what it takes, then I can tell you if I can do it. I'm like, nope, I definitely
No.
don't want to talk to you anymore.
So
Please.
they're already looking for an escape route. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's their parasites controlling the brain,
And
100%.
so if I was in your situation, my immediate response when I used to help, coach people more on health and wellness was I would say, you're not ready for me yet. And like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm closing the door. And then they're like, they have that scarcity mindset. Like, wait a minute, I don't have access to Scott or his knowledge anymore. I'm like, yeah, because you're a waste of my time and you're a waste of your own time. You need to commit. The sooner you could say yes to yourself, the sooner people like you or myself or somebody else out there can then step in and help you. But if you're immediately looking for an escape route or an easy way, sorry, healing the body, healing the brain, reaching new levels of amazing energy so you could tackle the world ahead and live your life better throughout the rest of the years to come, that's not always easy, especially in the modern world, which is what we're talking about. Like, sorry, you got to be really to swallow the hard pill. Oh, sorry, it's not a pharmaceutical. It's called just the pill of life. And, and once you do that once, we're not going to keep you on the hook. I mean, moving forward, you're just going to be healthy and not need pharmaceuticals. That's the whole, that'll be my goal. That's how I look at it. But everybody wants the easy path. That's a challenge. That's what I love about your background, Inesa, is like, you kind of shared it earlier in the show. Like, you had to claw, climb, fight against sex traffickers, document your cash expenditures to lawyers to build the foundation of your life to truly experience what freedom is in this country. And that pisses me off because I see somebody like you who's truly successful and doing something good for others. And your background is not what I would want for somebody coming into our country and being a citizen. Is like, I mean, then again, I mean, I guess if you look at history, no citizenship has come easy for people coming in to the freedoms of the United States of America. I don't know if you're, again, not to get political. It's not really political. It's just like, well, okay, sometimes you got to struggle to earn your success. Not everything is a rubber stamp of easy.
No, it's not. Anything like a diamonds. It's like, you're gonna press them hard before they're gonna come out perfect. So it's very simple, and
I
people are
love the
afraid.
diamond reference. Very nice. Yes. Yes.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm happy. I would never change anything from my past, because I became who I am today, and probably bad guys don't like me, and they're always trying to do something for my life. But the good people are people trying, and they have no voice for themselves. I stand for them, and I help them, and we see nothing but results, and we're creating a beautiful, beautiful world with the things I do. So I'm very happy. I would never change my past.
And actually, that's a great success tip right there, ladies and gentlemen, is never look at your past as something that should be changed. I didn't have an easy past either. I grew up dirt poor on a farm. All right. I still second guess myself to this day with, the successes that my wife and I have created for ourselves. And it's like, okay, well, who am I? But I've learned that you should never feel bad about the success you've reached as long as you're still doing positive things in this world with it. So I look at new financial success, new financial freedoms, new chapters of success moving forward to help generate and create new positive things in the world, right? Ergo, I never planned on writing a book or starting a charity. That was something recent in the past 3 years. But the inspiration came in. I can thank the podcasting world for that. That's part of my little tiny backstory. It was like, okay, well, let's write that book. Oh, I can't trust all the charities out there that I want the book to benefit. Then great, I'll start a charity so I know exactly where the book funds are going. And then my charity helps other charities. That was not in the game plan at all, Inesa. It was just like an epiphany like hit while going through the trials and tribulations of writing a book. I know you've been approached by people trying to document your life or the documentary concept. I think that's huge. I've had a lot of success working with documentary projects, and my wife and I are big geeks on watching documentary films. So I'm a big fan when you could finally get the truth out there. I do see that in your future. I'm sure people have poked you about it. And we have a few minutes left because I know you have a hard stop and we have another show. You have another show coming up, but I have not, I feel bad. I have not screen shared your website at all during the show. So you've shared such amazing backstory. I feel like we've laid the groundwork for people to understand who you are and why what you're doing as a business does impact. So I want to remind people, nisashemp.com. In the past couple of minutes, I always ask my guest co-hosts for your benefit to kind of close the show out with something. It used to be final words of the show or something to remember you by. And then over the years, I realized, because you totally get this, I've realized even my own story. You know what? What is the legacy that we're leaving behind in this world? And you epitomize that. Okay, you're choosing to choose a positive path and a positive legacy. So my ask to you for our listeners is, what would you like to leave behind as a legacy message to the audience?
That's only one thing has actually mattered to me is to create a legacy. And I don't even hire the employees on the team that are not interested to leaving the legacy themselves. So everyone is chose very carefully to work with Nisas Hemp or Regenesis 369. I know I'm not going to, or I'm going to try. I know it's gonna happen for fact. And the plans and the things I'm working on right now is gonna create a revolution. And I'm not gonna continue to watch all the darkness trying to accept how and push us and accept the darkness as okay. And I had enough of this, and I just know that I'm here and we're gonna push really hard and we're gonna make it happen, because pushing hard, that's great, but I know we're gonna make it happen. I have an amazing plan. It's already working in the first phases. So with that being said, I just want to see hate turning into the love and dark turning into the light. And I want people simply to be happy and healthy. I also want all the CBD industry to crash, to be honest with you, because those are pharmaceutical drugs are sold on the market. Nobody knows. People are taking drugs and they think it's coming from the plant. There is no CBD in the plant. Nobody knows about it.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm just taking my CBD. No, you're not, darling. You are taking actually a drug. And even smart Google tells you that. So I'm definitely creating a revolution in the industry, because it's been 4 or 5 years. Every time I've been interviewed by mainstream media or articles and things like that, which is by now probably have thousands, I can tell you this, that's I can push sales, I can push marketing, I can push all that stuff. The only one thing I push is education.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't bring me money. So I bring the education, because when you're smart, when nobody can ever trick you, when you know how to make your money, when you know how to be healthy, when you know that nobody's going to manipulate you, that's the moment where I feel I achieved my goal. And that's exactly where I'm going. So with my product, I know we're gonna change the industry, and we're gonna stop all these lies that hemp and cannabis and it's all the same thing, and CBD. No, 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 people need to know the truth. So that's gonna happen. And with all these funds we actually making from Nisas Hemp, as I said, I'm creating something very big, and it's happening. I personally chose not to sell my soul 3 times, two for sure. The third one I was assuming. I was offered a ridiculous amount of dollars, and I was told I'm an idiot by not taking it. But I was offered everything. I had the whole life written in front of me, how perfect life could be, and doors are open everywhere. And I said no. I said absolutely no. So yeah, it's absolutely, that's the legacy. We're gonna turn hate into love and dark into the light.
I love turning darkness into light. So I don't want to make you late for your next show. So if you need to jump out, jump out. I'll close the show out. But I do want to throw the invite out there. I really wanted to establish your backstory, which you did solid today, and why you care so much. But just so you know, I've not done a lot of back-to-backs. But if you want to do a part 2 and dig into some of the science and the depths of why you exist from a brand standpoint, the products and the futures of what you're doing, the invite is open for you to come back, and we can time this show release if you want to do a part 1, part 2 release. I've only done it a few times in history of the show, so people understand who you are now. And then if you want to do a part 2, invite is open. We can get into the geekiness of it, and all the things that are more science related, or I should say truth related. So that's open to you. So
I really appreciate it.
yes, wonderful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and again, if you need to jump out, jump out. But ladies and gentlemen, that was, again, nisashemp.com. Inesa was an amazing guest co-host today. As a reminder, we're here to fuel your health, your business, and your lifestyle. This woman truly cares. You've heard that in her legacy message at the end of the show. She's creating some amazing shift and changes in the healthcare industry. I like to label it as that. So thanks for tuning in. As a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, you too can live the fuel, and we'll talk to you guys again soon.